right? And of course, Ari, to his infinite credit, understood instantaneously the context that Ye is talking in, which neither Piers Morgan certainly didn't seem to, although he should, because they're in his entertainment, right? Tucker, danced around it and stuff like that. It's like, Ari saying, so he's gone from, low-key anti-Semitism to full-blown anti-Semitism. Well, what did he say? And it was like, oh, he said something. And Ari's like, what, he said something? Are you kidding me? That? Why are we so worried about, the words, right? What about sticks and stones never hurts, and gas chambers will hurt me? Ari's words, right? Yeah. So let's keep these things in perspective. And so what did he say about I would say the audience fed it to him very sort of little pieces at a time, right? It's like, well, he said death con, and then Ari played off this like, that wasn't that the way Black Americans say th? Don't they usually say deaf?
Oh, yeah.
He's just doing teaching Black people how to say the hard th. Okay, so what did he actually say? And he's like, oh, he's going to go death con on the Jews, and he's like, well, which Jews? Which ones? He's like, and then you could see Ari. He's actually figured out what's going on, and he's going, he means his agents, doesn't he? And then the glorious resolution of all of this. He stole my joke. I've been saying that for years. And then I was like, you really got to watch this. We'll link it. It's magnificent. He's saying, Ari saying, Kanye West is one of the greatest rap artists in the world, and he stole my joke.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
He took it's just gone. Right. It's like, it's so, I would like to talk to both of them, but for the same reason, right? They are trying by way of their art and their comedy and their foolishness to break us. I mean, it's like, talk about breaking the fourth wall, right? To break us out of, there's Ye making his Sunday services, right? And there's Ari saying, look, this stuff I grew up with is stranger than you thought. If you don't know about the Orthodox Jewish community, it is stranger than you thought. And you got what we're going to have to tell them about the sin chicken, aren't we? But the Orthodox put their sins on the chicken or the bread. In Catholics, you confess to a rapist behind a counter. No, there's no filter on this. In terms of. And the thing is, I do disagree with Ari where he gets this. It's like all religions are going to end up with this weird stuff. That is our challenge, right? And I do think, unflinchingly, that's what we're trying to address in these streams. Is there does come a point where we do have faith, and we do see that Jesus Christ is our Lord, and we do believe that he is the fulfillment of the prophecies, and therefore we're going to disagree with Ari, but that Ari was able in 6 minutes to undo what nobody in the mass media of the branding has been willing to even consider. He was talking about his agents. That's why, and now I'm getting happily magicked up on my Black Girl Magic Riesling. What Ye says, there's one point, and I think in the, now I don't remember which one it is. I think it's in the one with the drink champs, appropriately, saying, I'm jealous, right? I'm jealous that it's a drink champs one, right? Yes. I'm jealous that the Jewish people seem to stand up for each other in their own communities, and we as Black people need to stand up for each other. We need to take care of each other. We need to show it again, And I to Ye's credit, I had never quite appreciated how important this was. I live in a Black neighborhood. I'm surrounded by Black-owned businesses. One of my former parishioners at a church, the Episcopalian church I used to go to, was Carol Mosley Brown, who's the first African-American senator. Is it Black woman senator or just Black? Anyway, she was one of the senators from Illinois for our community. And she's an entrepreneur now. She makes tea, She has a tea business, and she also is a great supporter of. There's a art project in the neighborhood called Black Pearl. And this is a neighborhood where Black businesses matter a lot, right? And Ye is to his infinite credit. One, he said the various things he said. One is, we Black people need to take care of each other, right? You say you're going to have Irish Americans and Italian Americans and Polish Americans that have Cantius, or sort of. We also have a lot of Spanish that I should be able to say, and we should, Black Americans should have a feeling of caring for each other. He said that. And now I've forgotten the other thing he said. Oh yes, he's lost all his money. And in the same interview, or was it the same interview with where he's holding up the phone? He's saying, I've reconsidered the way in which I kept bragging about being so rich, that I was the richest Black man. Mm-hmm. And God took it away from me. I kept saying that, and God took all that money away from me. I mean, if you want him to apologize, he's acknowledged his own self-aggrandizement as a feature of what's going on here in his. So we're going to take away now. Oh yes, this is so on the Piers Morgan thing, we have. Never mind what, the kind of jokes that Ari makes in this stand-up that YouTube is certainly not going to take down, right? It's like, the front butt that you have intercourse with, Adam, is the least of the things that he says. And the Piers Morgan interview with Ye had to contains moderately strong language. Like, excuse me, but I'm going to do it, and then Milo will be mad at me because I'm a girl and I'm not the mom and I'm not supposed to use this language on camera. But for goodness sake, you're labeling Ye with contains moderately strong language, and he's an artist. Ari's going to be able to say whatever he likes in this candlelit extravaganza, and he's not going to get labeled contains moderately strong language. You want an example of racism? I think we just saw one. Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair.
And you people wonder why I get so mad when you diss my city and my neighborhood. For goodness sake.
Well,
I'm going to take this away. I'm going to give them both a nice look. There's Ari's cheeking and Ye smiling. And now we're happy again. I'm gradually revealing to you the candles.
Oh, they're coming out. Beautiful. The candles are coming out. Well, this is the thing. It's like, who has control over English? We're having gang wars over who gets to control the English language now. Whose definitions are acceptable? Whose definitions are going to be the most commonly used, etc. A lot of people on Telegram, they'll insult Ebonics. Ari said Yiddish is Ebonics for Jews.
Yeah.
Understanding that it's that possession of your own dialect that really defines you, like get that kind of feature of like how you carve out linguistic identity. It's that I own the language that is rolling off my tongue, and the both of them are trying to do it. One gets a content warning, the other one is free to go, which is why I said I don't like speaking English, because at the moment that we're at in the culture wars or in Western history, I don't think anyone is really aware of who owns the rights over dialect formation anymore.
Well, so that when you're speaking about that one, I know there's great studies of Black English, I mean Ebonics or whatever, and I mean one I read in college, which was a great study of Black consciousness. Now I've forgotten the proper title. And he said, but music, right? It's like that. I want to, again. It's like I'm thinking of all these conversations I'd like to have with Ye, and I don't. It's like I don't even know how I do it, because I don't want to be Tucker Carlson. I obviously don't want to be Piers Morgan in this. I can't be Nori and DJ, and I don't want to be Lex. So it's like, who am I? White woman, professor, or artist, right? And I'm like baby artist compared to him. But the sort of beauty and poetry of Black singing. I mean, it's like what turned into our music industry, obviously. Which I mean, E. Michael Jones has talked about that. You know, Jewish agents were very much in the mix in the development of jazz as a particular commercial enterprise. I mean, the branding problem is huge. It's like we're going to take, and this is interesting. Okay, so we need to, we've really built this all up. So you got all the candles burning behind us now, right? So we're going to wrap it all into one big, you know, might take us a while.
The bonfire.
The great bonfire. Guess what song Ari plays at the end of his special called Jew? It's Louis Armstrong's Go Down Moses. And Ye has spoken specifically about that, saying he wants to be, I mean, he said things like, you know, Moses stuttered, right? Which is true.
Yes.
You know, maybe I'm not speaking perfectly. I mean, I was a little sleepy and I'm tweeting this and stuff like that. I like Ari's version of it better, but, you know, Moses was imperfect. He stuttered. He had, you know, the Lord had to give him what to speak. Yeah, he's talked a lot about, he's like, here we are. The Israelites were the slaves. Well, Ari's talking about that too. I mean, he makes some jokes about it. It's like, well, you'd have them when you could be in Africa and you'd have other people to be slaves. Wait, you know, oh my gosh.
It's so good.
I mean, they're both talking about the problem of like Moses freeing the slaves. Who are the slaves? Who are the slaves?
That's where it crosses over. It's an Egyptian problem. We're back to Egypt.
Yo!
We're back in Egypt. We're back with the Egyptian problem.
I had this potentially, it's a comment that got circulated in my Telegram, something about, you know, don't you know all of these BS religions are stolen from Negro Africans, Egyptians?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, this is like this sort of layers of, you know, the BS. It's like, yes, it all comes from Egypt. We knew that. But in all of these marvelous layers of, so one of the things Ari said when the audience is telling me about what Ye had said, you know, oh, you know, he did something with Candace Owens and he's like, oh, she's an Ethiopian Christian or something. Black Hebrew. No, he said Black Hebrew next, but the first thing he said about Candace was she's Ethiopian, and I'm like, oh, he knows. Because Candace Ethiopia, right? It's like he went straight to it.
Yeah. Well, because he knows.
He knows. I mean, this is what the joke. I mean, the funny thing about Ari's stand-up is it's the Bible, right? It's like, we're going to talk about the Bible. That's how he opens it, right? We're going to talk about the Bible tonight, and then show you how, you know, Orthodox Judaism is not, in fact, in the Bible. There's all sorts of things that are not part of the Bible. It's the Talmud and the Mishnah and the Gemara, and talking about how they train. I mean, the Orthodox training is in reading the Talmud
and debating the ham soups.
Well, and liking loopholes. I mean, it's like, for goodness. And at one point, he asked people to like name your favorite stereotypes, and he's like, "Yeah, all true, but you know." I mean, the funny thing is, it's like, I get I'm a white woman. I mean, I'm also Scots-Irish and Presbyterian and an academic and, you know, a certain age. And we are our stereotypes. At certain points, and Ari obviously he's playing off of all of those for comedy. But I think also I mean, my sense was, and maybe Ye, I don't know about Ye so much, but Ari, he's purposely using all of these stereotypes to diffuse them. It's like, yeah, we're that. We you know, we've married each other a lot, so we look alike. He used stronger language.
Yeah, considerably.